All right. So, good evening all to all our viewers. As it has been scheduled, we are here with Reverend Father Martin Attison and Reverend Father Innocent Kokobialowe. They are the outgoing parochial vicars of Abomenya Holy Trinity Catholic Church. We just want to have a short discussion with them, their experiences that they had with us, the parish over here. Maybe they might be having some recommendations to give out to parishioners, especially to the youth. So let us all join. And then your questions are also welcome. They will be ready to accept your questions. So when you type it, you post it for us, we'll ask them on your behalf. So I'll start with Father Martin. Father Martin, I realized that when you were posted to Agomenya, it's one way or the other joy for you because you might have heard of Agomenya, how things were going. This Agomenya station happened to be your first station. So upon your arrival at Agomenya, how do you feel? What was the first feeling? Your first station working in Agomenya, how do you feel?
Uh, Actually, thank you, my brother, for this opportunity given us to share our experiences, our lovely parishioners, and the people out there. As your question demands, I was newly ordained, and after a month of my Thanksgiving masses, the bishop sent me a letter and appointed me to Holy Trinity Catholic Church, Agomenya. Upon hearing Agomenya and that place being the first place I'm going to work, I was befuddled. I was thinking that why Agomenya? Because I have a history at Agomenya, and I made it known on my day of inauguration in the parish that I was actually born on this land and precisely at the hospital where it's attached to the parish. So when I was appointed here, I felt like it is a way of telling me that begin from your roots. So my apostolate and my ministry in this parish, I termed it as starting everything from my roots. So that was my experience. Then coming back to begin, actually where I was giving birth at. So it was a nice experience for me to return to my birth land and to begin my ministry. And the welcome that was given me by priests and by parishioners and by the people of the town, it was so much interesting. And I loved whatever that I experienced at that time. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Father Martin. I'll come back to you, but because there are two over here, I'll move on with Father Innocent. As I said from the beginning, we are live. So those of us watching, I can see that we have about 6 people watching us right now. Please, your questions are welcome so that we can ask them. Maybe most of us will not get the opportunity to talk to them. Maybe we don't know, but so Father Innocent, Agomenya happened to be your second station after ordination. So you are present at Agomenya. What are some things that make you to feel at home at Agomenya?
Since Agomenya was my second parish, I worked at Kim's Wardrobe and I came here. The thing that helped me most is that the people are welcoming, and I thought that it's another continuation of my pastoral ministry. So starting from Agomenya has been a wonderful experience so far as my pastoral ministry is concerned.
All right. So Agomenya being your second station, how do you feel? Do you have some lapses? Like, do you have some scratches out with some of the youth as you coming here? They are doing in Agomenya might be different from where you were transferred from.
Actually, the problem concerning the youth seems to be a general problem everywhere in every parish when it comes to youth involvement to church activities. Nevertheless, there's one thing about the youth. Once you bring them on board and bring lively programs on board, they come together, and that has helped in raising the standard of the youth involvement in church activities in Agomenya. A program like the Youth in Praise was one of its kind that brought them on board.
Okay, so we'll go online and then I'll let Father Innocent answer this question before I move on to Father Martin. So, Father, how did you cope with the language barrier?
It has not been easy, but it's a learning process. As a priest, you should be ready to learn a new language. Though you may struggle at the beginning, but with time, you get to cope with it. Even though it's difficult sometimes working and learning language at the same time, but if you are so much interested to get to know the people more and to minister to them, language shouldn't be a barrier.
Thank you very much. So, Father Martin, there is a question over here which I would like you to answer before we continue. Are you going to miss Agomenya?
This is a question that I've always expected. My answer has always been yes. I'm truly going to miss Abomenya and the parish and the lovely parishioners because of how I've lived with them, how the fraternity has been. It's going to be something I'll miss. As you have acknowledged, it is my first pastoral assignment, and because of the exposure, I will miss a lot because I haven't, like my brother, experienced other places. So it is going to be a place I'll miss. And it has always been on my mind that how would my next assignment be? So to my lovely friend or person who asked the question, I'm going to really miss Abomena. And I must admit that I will really miss this place.
So, Adra text, I think Father has answered your question. Father Innocent, the same question goes to you. Are you going to miss Agomenya?
Surely, I'm going to miss Agomenya. I spent almost getting to 3 years over here as against my former parish, which is 2 years. So getting to know people and how things are moving here, definitely I'm going to miss Agomenya. And we always love to come back home because this is also our home. We are part of you. Since you have accepted us to work with you, that working relationship continue to exist between us.
So, the next question goes to both of you, but I'll let you answer it one after the other. Were you expecting the transfer? So, Father Innocent, I'll start with you.
Yeah, I should be expecting transfer. Whenever there is ordination, every priest must expect a transfer. And as such, I've spent almost getting to 3 years over here, and with the kind of marking or the relationship that has been brought together so far as our working experience is for 2 years. And if you allow for more years, you come to stay. So I was expecting it that I may be transferred or not.
All right. So, Father Martin, were you also expecting the transfer?
Yeah, I was expecting it, but I would say that taking my appointment from the bishop, I was notified together with my mates the day we were receiving our appointment that we are just going to have an experience of the places we are going, and the maximum will be 2 years. It was something that we were told. But coming onto the ground and working, I somehow thought that it may not work. Thinking that I may or we may have more years to the 2 years. So even though I'm in a second year and I was expecting what the bishop was had notified us earlier on, I wasn't too much expecting it to be this year because anything can happen. So I am having a double answer. I expected it, and somehow, some way too, I didn't expect it. Even though it has been a policy in the diocese that for newly ordained, you spend 2 years at a place, then you move to another place for an experience. So that is how it is in our diocese.
Okay. So, quickly before I move to Father Innocent, were you by maybe thinking or your thoughts having a preferable parish that could have loved to go to, or you could have loved to stay at Agomenya if you have your way?
This is a wonderful question.
Okay.
I don't have any preferable parish. I always open up to places I've been sent to by my God through the bishop. So wherever I'm sent to, I'm ever ready to work and see how best I can also improve upon the lives of people over there.
So, Father Martin, the
Yes.
same question applies to you.
Yeah, I wouldn't in any way as a priest I wouldn't in any way as a priest expect a parish A or B because as our work demands, we are sent out to preach wherever we find ourselves, first and foremost in the world, then particularly to our diocese. And as I said, our bishop always notifies us that you have been ordained. On the day of ordination, he tells you have been ordained. And I will show you, or he will show us the confines of the diocese, the boundaries. And he will tell you specifically that you are going to work within the diocese, any place, anytime. So we cannot but just be ready for any place. So I didn't have any place in mind. I was just expecting to work anywhere in the diocese.
Yeah, permit me to push you a little. As human as you are,
Yes.
you go to the other parishes. You do have meetings in the other parishes. Some of the parishes you visit there and you feel like I'm working in the parish over here. As human as you are, by all means, that feeling is there. So, can you maybe by any chance mention the parish that you could have loved to work over there?
Well, you want to push me to the wall, but as human as I am, and as a priest as I am, I cannot be pushed so much to the wall. But what I will say is that every part of the diocese is accommodating for us, the priest. As my brother said, there's one thing that I have learned in my 2 years as a priest, that wherever you find yourself, it is not the best. Make the place the best by your own doings and by your deeds. So if I should say this place is better and this place is not, for me that is not the matter. The issue is when I am sent there, if it is not a good place, can I develop and help the people there together with myself to develop the place? So I cannot pinpoint any particular parish. Though we also admit, as human as we are, that there are other good and experienced parishes in this diocese. There are other ones that are also coming up needs that experience from us. So we are open to all, and that is our work. Thank you.
Okay, for the innocent, I think I will ask you the same question. So for the innocent, yes.
I don't expect or love to work in any other parish in the diocese. I always want to work at where I have been sent to. So, as my brother said, what do you expect from the other parish? The same parish you are working, that's exactly how you're going to minister to the people over there. So it's the same people but different cultures. You just have to adjust and make the place your home, just as Father Martin said. So for us, and for me in particular, I don't have any parish in mind. I wish to work in parish A or parish B. To make it a place to live and be happy with your ministry.
So, if you have your way, would you have loved to stay at Agomenya or go and transfer?
If I have my way, I don't wish to stay a little while. But as Jesus would always tell his disciples, let us also go to the other side and proclaim the good news. And that is exactly what we have been sent to do by the Lord.
So, Agomenya is having a lot of outstations. Father Martin, this is your first pastoral experience or a station that you have your first pastoral work. What can you share with the whole world watching you now? The worst experience that you have in the process of maybe going for outstation to celebrate Mass, the worst experience that you have ever had.
Oh, that is interesting. I cannot recall, but all the experience have been good. quite challenging. But if I want to really recall, there is one place that I was going to, and our parish, we have vehicles, but that day the vehicle was not in good shape, and I was supposed to move from one station to the other. Actually, I was stationed at Boyonye, and I was without vehicle, and I had to move from that place to Yongwase, one of their stations. And my brothers and sisters, it was not easy to get means of transportation. I had to hold my musket, my arb, my chasuble, and then stand by the road begging people to give me a lift by not a car but motor cycle. I mean motor. And I had to stand there for quite a long time until one person came and decided to help. And the road was also very dusty with my musket and everything. Now am I going to manage? So I had to squeeze all these things in my as I sit behind the motor rider and therefore join him. And then because I was in white, how do I manage to get there? I had to borrow somebody's Lacoste, red Lacoste, to wear on my white and then jump behind the motorcycle and ride through the dust to the place. And when I came, I said, well, if we can do this or we have done this, I can imagine what others did when there was no vehicle or even motorcycle. So that was an experience that I had. And I really loved that experience. It opened my eyes to appreciate apostolates in the villages and wherever people find themselves.
I like the latter part of your saying. You appreciate apostolate in the villages because I think they need more of the word. They need more of the priest presence than we those in the towns and in the cities. So, Father Innocent, over to you. What was your worst experience that you've had in Agomenya over here?
My worst experience was when I was visiting one of the outstations when we used to have 17 outstations. We were supposed to lodge in one of the rooms. However, we went with Christian mothers who were having their station by station to see how the society is doing well. So the room that they prepared for I and Father Boateng, we needed to give that room out to the Christian mothers so that they could lodge in. And Father Boateng and I slept in a car for the next day to continue our apostolate. That is the worst experience and encounter I enjoyed. Nevertheless, God keeps us moving. We accept the challenge, and it is part of our ministry.
All right. So I think our time is going. We'll soon end up with the interview. As I said from the beginning, those watching us, you have your question, let your questions flow so that we can ask them on your behalf. I will proceed. Father, in the human community, what was the worst thing that you have heard a parishioner say about you or about the priest that hurts you much?
But I can't recall anything that should hurt me. I'm the kind of personality who don't keep things to myself. So I can't actually remember anything that is still hurting me here. I'm a free-minded person. So permit me not to answer this particular question as you want it.
So, Father Artisan, yes, the same thing, same question to you.
Yeah, I would say that as a human community, there are some times that our people, the people of God, will judge us from a certain angle, but may not be the case. So when sometimes certain comments come out, you realize that from their perspective, that is how they may see it. But in reality, that is not the case. For instance, if parishioners, I wouldn't say here, as my brother Paul has said about all parishes and challenges is across. For instance, if parishioners have the mindset that their leaders, that is the priests, are doing things to suit themselves and not for the good of the community, it is something that when you hear, you feel much disturbed. It is a human thing. That's after all that you are doing, the judgment is that you are relating for yourself. That is a wrong notion. So if in any way something like that have been commented by any parishioner or any person against their leaders, that is something that I will not encourage. So that is for me. We shouldn't think that people who lead us are interested in just doing things to please themselves, but it's at the common good, especially when it comes to the Catholic priesthood. Our vow of poverty makes us understand that we live for the good of the people. Thank you.
And let me continue from there. I always tell the parishioners that every priest who has been posted to your parish is there to help the parish, build the parish, so that all of us will be happy. So no priest will go to one particular parish to do things to make himself happy. No. If the parishioners are happy, I am happy. If they are at peace, I'm at peace. If they are disturbed, I'm also disturbed. So there's no way I will find or look for my own happiness at the detriment of the parishioners. So we humbly ask you to pray for us and support us. Sometimes you have the ideas, share it with your priest. What do you think should be done? What the parishioners are looking out for? These are opportunities for you to dialogue and see how best we can build the parish together. The priest alone cannot do it. The parishioners alone cannot do it. Together, we can build God's kingdom here on earth.
All right. So about the church, I'll ask one question before I'll come down to the personal ones. Yeah. What is it that you could have loved to be done to help build or help do for the parish here, but you are not able to achieve that particular thing, yet you are going? What is that particular thing? Could have loved that should have been done in Agomenia over here, help to build it up, but you are not able to achieve it. We would like to know so that maybe we can suggest it out to the incoming priest.
I'll speak from the angle of the youth, since I am the chaplain. I would have loved that Agomena parish would have a formidable and united youth who are ever ready to assist the priests and the church council to build this parish. And that is what I was always working towards and looking out for.
Okay, Father Martin.
Yeah, I'll take it from where my brother was, since I was supporting him also with that aspect of the parish. Our aims, which some of them we could achieve, and we wanted to perpetuate them, was organizing the youth, especially with programs, social and spiritual. There were some programs that we organized last year, and it was so good, and it brought us together, and we wanted to continue, or it is our aim to continue this year. And I think our transfers have just caused a little kind of a stoppage to it. But our hope and our aspiration is that those who are coming will take it up from there and continue those good programs and activities that we outlined for the youth. When it comes to the parishioners, there is also other things. The parishioners are large. That's I would like that the new priests who come would also, together with our parish priests, continue to do. I, by chance, heard from some of our parishioners that they expect more of a monthly or quarterly kind of spiritual programs, like weekly spiritual programs, to be organized in the parish. I think we had an aim towards that, and we almost started until our transfers came. So it is something that I think when we bring on board, it also ginger the parishioners to move on spiritually.
Yeah, so Father Martin, still be on it. Look at the population of the church when you arrived and the population of the church now. Will you say that the church is dying out in Agomenya or the church is growing in Agomenya?
Well, with my experience till now, I would say that it is an up and down something. It depends on the season. When I look at this community, the season sometimes determine the number of participants and active parishioners. Sometimes too, it comes down per the season when people move out, and so if I judge that by the activeness, I may not give a very good interpretation to it. But I will say, in all, that it has not dwindled, and the the increase has not also been very sharp, but it is better than I came to meet it.
Thank you. Father Innocent, this Agomenya happened to be the second place of work for you. So, though we all know that the environment of work is different, but with Agomenya, when you came here, and then the time that you are living now, looking at the population of the church, will you say that the church has experienced some growth or it's rather going down?
I must say that there has been a little growth, as my brother Father Martin said, looking at how the environment and also the economic factors come to play, especially this year. If you look at the various communities that we have, which form the parish, where people are living, coming to church, boarding a vehicle or a motorbike, all these things contribute to the numbers on Sunday as we see it. But currently, you can see that people, the numerical strength has reduced a little bit, but we could attribute it to the economic factor in some of the place of abode or some of the parishioners. So we are looking forward that coming October, which is the month for the Mayim, and we will look at our numerical strength actually, since many of those who are also at the outskirts of this place will also come down to worship with us. Then we can actually make a good assessment whether there's reduction or there's an increase in the number of parishioners attending to church. And we shouldn't also forget that Nwaso and Pong used to be part of us. And now that they are also on their own, many of our parishioners have moved to those places where we have permanent priests to worship with them. So all these things are factors that is affecting the numerical strength if you want to look at our growth rate in this parish.
So quickly, before we move on, if you have been given the chance to suggest that between Agomenya and Atwa, we should establish another church in between Agomenya and Atwa, will you confirm it or will you approve it or suggest to the church council that the way things are going, you think there should be a church over there? Will you approve that?
Of course, I will. As I said, looking at where people are living and coming to church here is also affecting the growth of the church. So bringing the church to the doorsteps of parishioners is the way out to increase the number of parishioners or worshippers in this community. So I would suggest to the parish council to see how best we can have access to land and we can begin some community-based church to see how best we can increase our population in this parish.
Okay. So, Father Martin,
Yes.
I will take from here. We know we have Sacred Heart Catholic Church, which is now coming up at Akromasi. Looking at the distance from the junction to the place where the church is being sited, I think it's a bit far. So, looking at from and then again from Agomenya towards the Abrochi top over there, will you suggest that we should establish a church over there, or you think they can still make it up to here to Agomenya, the main parish over here, or Akomase? Do you think we should have a church over there?
Yeah, it is always good that we bring the church to the people, as our Pope suggests that we bring the church to the doorsteps of the people. It is very good to bring it closer to our people, to bring them together, to congregate and to worship. But it's just not organizing that and then just putting it in place when you have not done your feasibility studies and access to the places. As my brother said, access to land is becoming an issue. But that notwithstanding, it is good to do that. And I think the introduction of the BCC communities can help resolve that issue. And in this parish, we came to meet a formidable BCC communities, which is still working. Just that at the point in time, COVID-19 just came to disturb activities of that program. But after that, together with my brother priest, we are revamping those BCCs. And I think for the start, these communities can help to kind of bring a solution to that menace that we are all looking at. So for me, we can start from the BCCs, which we're already doing, strengthen them. Then when the opportunity comes, by God's help, we access land and resources. It's good that we situate a church at such places.
Okay. So as we are about to end our interview, you came to the Kroboland, if I'm not mistaken, 2 years ago.
Yes.
So kindly give us an expression in Krobo, that the one that you like so much. It can be a proverb, it can be an adage in the Krobo language.
Well,
this is for the people to know that as you've been here for the past 2 years, you have identified yourself with them.
Well, I cannot give a proverb or an adage, but I may try to give words of gratitude. Tunyi nge Agomenya hiyo mau draw or trepe a penny ne mouse one can hale wamade can mounted join a trepe nye boy one day can how bene wabahio ye ya trepe ke o a pay ne wa pay ni fun ke ha wa parish o mau pio ne gba nye trepe ne hanya ne nye boanye.
So for the innocent, okay, so a good message in the Krobo.
You want to pull my legs this evening? As my brother rightly said, you can only speak few of the Krobo language. We thank you for helping us become better priests, and also with that learning experience from you, we are going to take it to wherever we have gone. So all that we want to see is that
okay, so we are about wrapping it up. I think that apart from the language, there'll be songs in Krobo. So you just give us one of your favorite ones in Krobo. I don't know whether you like to sing it together or you sing one after the other so that we can.
I think we may have a common one. Wanamusi maule, wanamusi, wanamusi maule, wanamusi. Wanamusi, wanamusi maule, wanamusi maule, wanamusi maule, wanamusi.
Yeah, thank you very much. I almost escaped it. But if you go for it, it's better late than never. We are not supposed to judge one another. You happen to work under two different parish priests, everybody with a mode of administration. But we would like you to just tell us one or two things about the priests with whom you have worked as parish priests. So I'll start with my Father Martin.
Yeah, I think the answer you demand for me lies in the question that you gave. That the two priests that I have worked with have their most modus operandi, how they work and how they do their things. My former parish priest, now the cathedral administrator, Father Sumedu, has his own way of doing his things administratively. And I think it helped me in my first year with him, that he made me understand that administration is very necessary and key to our ministry. So for him, I would be much more grateful to the administrative parts experience that he has given me. Now with my current parish priest, Father Moses, I will be noting him for the fraternity, the fraternal love. He also add up to the administrative by making us understand that aside this, there is also the need for us to fraternize, the need for us to share, the need for us to always be happy with one another. So with the two, I will give one administratively, I will give one fraternal love, and that combines to give me a good experience. Thank you.
Yeah, Father Innocent.
Thank you for the question. Father Asumadu was my first parish priest in Agomena, and he does well, as my brother Father Martin said, administratively. He put everything in place of his work, and we are supposed to make sure that it is done to the core. And he has helped us administratively to know what involves when it comes to parish work. And also, Father Moses, he was once my parish priest at Latte, and also I had the opportunity to also serve with him over here. It has been a wonderful collaborative ministry, like a father and son relationship. He also teaches us how to be time conscious and how to be there for the people, and also how to also mingle with the people more so that we can know them more. So the two, pastoral, human, and administrative wise, it has enhanced our knowledge in this ministry which we have just started with the Lord.
So once again, thank you so much, fathers. Nyechumka ne wamabimo bamikepwe nyino. Konengane angonyeke ame. Bene ewonye wamnyeke bachuninge agomenyangano. Anye wam ne wape bene nye bahihenga wano. Kone nyane nyen nyapi ne susumai gidiglemene abamau machayimio esisi. Once again, Father Innocent is going to be the priest in charge of Our Lady of Lourdes Parish, Osonson. And then Father Martin is going to Asamankesi St. Mary's as assistant priest. Please, let us continue to pray for them. Doesn't mean that because they are going out of Agomenya, then they should be out of our prayers. Every day when we are praying for our priests, let us remember them in our prayers. Once again, thanks to all and sundry for watching and joining us. Sunday, do not forget, 9:30 a.m., we shall have their send-off mass for them. Join us. We'll be live once again. Once again, we said goodbye and enjoy your day. Thank you, fathers.